waiting in
Yeah.
line, and I don't
All
know.
right. Welcome to another episode of Hoosier Nerds podcast.
Another.
Um.
Another.
Well, we've been at it for what 30 minutes almost now,
Well,
You
and
guys
probably
recorded that long?
probably
I jo-
15, 20, maybe.
I joined like 10 minutes ago, and that's when I noticed it wasn't recording. But I thought you guys just weren't recording it, and then I asked, and I'm like, that might be good just to double check.
no, it
It's
was
okay.
supposed to be recording the whole time, so we missed
But
an
we can
entire
restart.
conversation.
I don't. No, we did. We're talking about. So the Taylor Swift. You got the emails for Taylor Swift tickets that are going on sale Friday. They sent emails out to people today, and I signed up and Mikey signed up. You didn't get your email, Mikey?
I did not get my email.
I got an
Uh,
email
I am
saying that
patiently waiting.
I am not in line for tickets, but I'm in line for the line for tickets. And at Lucas, she's playing Lucas
It's
Oil
like
November
Disney
1st.
World where you got the line to be in the line.
Yeah, you are. You're paying. It's like the line ride. So I now have to monitor my stupid Ticketmaster all day on Friday to see if I can get tickets to the show because I want to see her so bad. Like,
Can't wait till you get it on
just
call.
don't. You just
Hey.
don't know how bad
Ugh.
I want to see T Swift. My arm full of T Swift wrist, whatever, uh, uh, whatever
Wristbands.
wristbands. Make homemade. Make those homemade with all my shit so I can trade them off to people, or I could just sell them for an exorbitant amount of extra money and pay bills off, or go on vacation to Europe because that's what it's looking like they're going on sale for. So if I spend $400 of my savings on Taylor Swift tickets right now, honestly, I can flip those for what 10 times, right?
Yeah, you were saying like $6,200 or something.
Depending on the area, anywhere from depending on the area, 6 to what 220 what 29
20,
1900
yeah, 19 to 2000 to like 6,200.
yeah 1900 to 60, and that's for two tickets. So that's $3,000 a piece for the $6,200 tickets, or $1,000, essentially $1,000 a piece for a $200 ticket. That's insane. But I will be happy to take your money and apply that to my bills.
So I'll bring it up again. We can talk about it again. Does Taylor Swift even care that her fans are being ripped off?
Ripped off. What do you think, Mikey? You're kind of a Taylor. You listen to Taylor Swift. What do you? I mean, do you think it's fair that people are selling tickets for $3,000 to a concert to see somebody? And you're a fan of hers, so I'm asking your opinion.
No, it's not fair. That's happening.
But should she care as a singer?
I think she does care, but there's not really anything she can do about it unless she starts giving away tickets for free.
Well,
But then,
she should
but
do
then
that.
again,
Maybe she should cancel those tickets out and put them on sale.
but that's not the way capitalism works.
But didn't somebody do that? They canceled tickets because
Yeah,
they were.
somebody, I forget who it was, but they canceled out like a ton of tickets and then basically I think gave them out to free to like real people.
That's what they
Because
need to do.
just canceled them out because they got sold and they were instantly on the secondary market, and he saw it or she saw it, and they turned around and shut them off and sold them to somebody else or gave them out.
I don't think she cares. I think it's all about the money. She's part of the Illuminati. She's a
I
witch.
I don't think she's all about the money. I think she cares, but I don't. I think she do. I don't think she cares enough. I guess
I
is
don't
all I'm
think she
saying.
cares at all. I mean, there's 10-year-old girls that want to go to these shows that their
There's
parents are
like you said
spending
earlier,
$5,000.
people are taking out loans at like 20 to 30% interest just to
Yeah,
get.
just to get tickets. And a lot of them, they're taking their kids or their daughters, and because their daughter wants to go so bad, so they'll do anything. Me, I learned the hard way. When I learned the hard way because Chris always wanted to go to the Speedway when he was a kid. And do you think my dad took me?
Only if you bought your ticket.
No, he didn't take me. His excuse for years I wanted to go to time trials. Kris, I am not fighting that crowd. We are not going. So, by the time I was old enough and was able to go with my cousins, that's when I went. So either my dad's an a-hole, or I learned a hard lesson in you want something bad enough, you got to work for it. I'll take the latter, honestly.
But I mean, I guess the tickets are expensive just because it's a high demand. But with the verified fan that Ticketmaster is doing, whether it's I've never used it before, but whether it's what it's supposed to be used for or not, they say it's supposed to stop from bots from getting it or something.
This is the third. So this is the third time I've used the verified sale thing, right?
Yeah.
I did it for Pearl Jam, and I got in line to get in line for that show. The same thing for the All-Star Weekend, the NBA All-Star Weekend. Same problem, and then for this one. But the aggravating part is that all three shows have already showed up on the secondary ticket market already on the secondary ticket apps.
And those they're not even for sale yet.
They're not even for sale yet. Those tickets should be canceled out. That's what I'm saying. Why is that even legit? I don't even know how you can do that. Those are bots. They've got to be. The All-Star game was the same way. And people even went to Lucas Oil to the ticket office to buy tickets, and like 4 people got tickets to the All-Star Weekend because the Ticketmaster was having issues, and their computer were having issues. So people standing outside of the ticket office of the arena that they were going to have the venue they're going to have the All-Star Weekend at couldn't even get tickets. So there's some shady shit going on there, and I don't care who she is. I'll take the Matt Rife way all day long. Don't buy tickets to my show if they're on the secondary market and my seats are $40 and they want $150 for them. I'd rather see those seats empty than to see my fans get ripped off. And yes. I think she should do the same thing. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel. I think she knows they're going for that much, and I don't think she cares.
I put out before we realized what was happening with the recording. I put out the theory that she might be getting money out of it somehow.
Yeah,
maybe
that's what
she's in cahoots with the secondary market people.
I think Ticketmaster's in cahoots with them anyway. So,
well, you've been saying that for a while because tickets on ticket. There's wasn't it like tickets on Ticketmaster for sale like before they were even for sale or something?
No, they can't. That's they have a secondary. They have a verified ticket seller resale site.
How did they get? They got in trouble for something, didn't they?
Yeah, well, they got in trouble for charging the same price for tickets to the Cure as for handling fees as they did for tickets for the show. That's what it was. Handling fees for the show were the same price as the ticket of the concert. So people were paying $60 for a $30 seat.
Yeah, they were doubling the price of the ticket just to get money.
Which they still do. Didn't I say a ticket to tickets for Disturbed, right? I think they're $49 or $49 a ticket. I think I'm gonna pull that up now. I'll let you know. I'm gonna do this.
Well, there's not much you can do, I think, or they can do.
They're doing it themselves, is what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think anytime they're showing up on the secondary market on the, so lawn seats are $40. My bad. So they're $39.50 plus fees. So that's $79, right? I'm seeing how much Disturbed tickets are because I paid $64 for 2 tickets. Come on. I don't want that. I don't want insurance. I don't want that. Ticket prices are $115.70, right? So $115.70 divided by 2, $57.85 for $40 seats. So there's $17.85. No, yeah, $17.85 in fees. Well, $17.35 in fees for 39. So what's half of $39.50? $19.75. So almost half in fees.
Yeah,
half of the ticket cost through Ticketmaster's fees. So I don't know. I think Ticketmaster's a big scam. I think she's in on it. I think any artist that gets that happens like that, I think they're in on it. That's what I feel. But I'm just doing it to make money. Not gonna lie, I don't even care. Making money.
You're taking advantage of the situation like everybody else.
That's exactly right. And there's other people. I mean, not just the bots, but I'm just saying there's probably people that want to buy tickets to that show for the sole purpose of flipping them.
Yep.
I wish there was a way to like get on like the fan boards or something. Like everyone, don't purchase a ticket. Just let the price drop. Like
Yeah.
Nobody buy a ticket
hold,
and then you buy it.
No, yeah, hold.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Hold and
Hold the
see if
line.
all the bots
Just-
buy them. This is what they should
like
do.
just like when Dogecoin to the moon.
Yes,
Hold your
yes.
Dogecoin to the moon.
Well,
like
I mean,
if
don't buy
everyone were to do that, and then all the bots have it, and they're stuck with the tickets, then yeah.
yeah, no.
that's
this is what you do. You hold. Don't buy any tickets whatsoever. Let all the bots buy those tickets.
Yeah. And watch them
Cancel
lose
those
money.
seats out. Put them on resale
Uh-huh.
or face value, and then the bots don't have a chance.
Yep.
It's like a double sale.
That's
Because-
what I think it was for graphics cards because bots are buying up graphics cards to sell them on the secondary market. Like a graphics card is only like a couple five, depending on the which one you get. It could be like $500 to $1,000. But bots are buying graphics cards as soon as they go on sale and selling them for as much as like a PC, like $3,000.
Really?
So like everybody decided not to buy graphics cards. I think it was graphics cards. It might have been something different. But everyone's like, don't buy anything on the secondary market. And then these people selling stuff on the secondary market came out and said, nobody's buying our stuff. We're having to like give it away for less than we bought it for, because everyone banded together and didn't buy it like they're supposed to.
Well,
Yeah,
if I'm
but,
spending,
like
if
the smart guys can understand that. Like the people that are buying graphics cards, they can understand that. But you can't be able to convince thousands of teenage girls and their parents to be like, okay.
No, you're gonna have that teenage girl who, her graduation money, $2,000 graduation money. Okay, well, I'm buying my ticket.
But here's the thing. So if I
And
buy
guys, we can't say it's only girls. We have to say it's guys too.
But I could buy. So if I spend $4,000, right, for 2 tickets for Taylor Swift, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's $2,000 a ticket. I can see 50 concerts if I sit in lawn seats at like Deer Creek or wherever. My average cost of a ticket, that's like 50 concerts, 40 to 50 concerts to one Taylor Swift concert. Because you fluctuate your cost. Because I paid $60 for 2 tickets to see, like, I think it was $60. Like I said, $60 for Offspring, Sum 41, and Simple Plan. I paid $30 a ticket, and then I paid $34 a ticket for Breaking Benjamin and Disturbed. So that's like 50 concerts I can see instead of spending my money on one Taylor Swift show. That's a heck of a trade-off. I would rather go to 50 shows. I don't get it. I don't know. I've never liked, and we talked about back in the old. Oh, I told Mikey, I told Chris that I think that they should sell paper tickets to all the concerts. Is he even listening? He's got us on mute.
Yes, I'm listening. Grace will
Okay.
sit on my lap
So I
and
said I told
not
Chris
stop
that
talking.
I told Chris that they should sell paper tickets to the Taylor Swift concert since they're going on sale now, and make people hold on to their tickets for that long. Just to be a pain in the ass. I would do that if I was an artist.
I wish it could go out to like I wish it could go out to like the local people first. Like available for sale.
Kind of like they do for like state
Well, okay,
championship
so-
games. Like they have a certain amount just for the local people.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would do. They tried that with the All-Star game, and that was where the disaster happened, though. I like the old days. So back when y'all were like 2 years old, the Eagles, the band, not the football team, reunited after 15 years.
EAGLES, Eagles.
So they reunited. So
OH.
They asked.
No, it doesn't
So
work.
when they broke up, they're like, we'll get back together when hell freezes over, because they hated each other so much, right? So they got back together they toured in 1994. It's called the Hell Freezes Over tour, right? Pretty cool, right? So I had to go to my record store at 5 o'clock in the morning to go stand in line to buy tickets. And I had an option. I could have bought the $80 tickets or the $50 tickets. Well, in 1994, I bought the $50 tickets because I was in the back of the Citrus Bowl. But that's not the point. The point is I had a fair chance to get tickets. Since everything's gone online, you don't have a fair chance. I really don't believe you have a fair chance. When the Rolling
people
Stones
that control all these bots, it's programmed. But literally, the millisecond the bot can buy it, it's gone.
It's gone, right? So, and it was the same way when the Stones went on sale. Same year. It was. I think the Eagles concert was in July or August, and then the Stones concert was the Sunday after Thanksgiving. So, but again, I got in line, and I had great seats. My seats were $50. I was on was in the lower bowl of Florida Field because they played Florida Field in Gainesville. And I was close to the stage for $50, and like they had these ramps jetting out both sides of the stadium. So like Mick Jagger would come out all the way out to the end of this stage area, and he might have been 50 feet away from us. And I paid $50 for those seats, and it was fair. You know what I mean? It was fair for everybody. It was a free for all. Go to your record store, stand in line. If you get tickets, you get tickets. If you don't get tickets, you don't get tickets.
I just downloaded that TickPix app, and I legitimately got an ad for the Taylor Swift.
I buy everything off of there. I buy my Colts tickets off of there. They're the most reasonable because there's no hidden fees. Whatever the price is you see for tickets are the price you pay.
Can we switch topics to the Colts?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, because we got to talk about it. So the Colts and probably our best player are not getting along anymore, and he is not going to training camp right now. He is rehabbing.
No, he's been there. He's just not going to play. He's just visiting.
I heard he's like I was just at Buffalo Wild Wings on the TVs. They said that he was out with an ankle injury.
Well,
But
that's funny because he said that he didn't have an ankle injury. Now he's saying he does have an ankle injury. So does he have one or not?
I bet he does, but he's over. I don't want to say he's overplaying it, but I think it's kind of like, well, I might as well get it worked on now because what else am I gonna do? But there's like nothing we can say about it because he's injured. So,
and their other running back broke his arm, right? So they are down to, I think they should do like that movie with Mark Wahlberg where they just do an open tryout for players.
Oh, what was that?
Invincible.
Yeah, I hated
that. That's
that
a great movie. I love that movie. That's a great movie. It's a true story. How can you hate that?
I went to that movie when it first came out, like in theaters. Legitimately, that is the very first movie I ever fell asleep in theaters to.
Get out. Were you just tired that day? That's a great movie. You should watch it.
No,
it's on the
it
Disney
was legitimately a boring movie to me.
It is not a boring ass movie. You're wrong.
No,
but
I will go down saying
you'll fall
that
asleep
was a
through
boring
that,
movie.
but you think Dune is great?
Yo, this latest Dune was a great movie, and I can't wait for the new one.
Yeah, for insomniacs.
Nah, Dune was almost perfection.
Oh no! Please stop right there. Don't even go. No.
I liked it, but I guess I don't understand like a lot of it. I felt like I
don't get it either. That was the problem.
But I mean, it was good. Like it was good cinema, I guess. Like it was.
The guy I forget the author, but the author of this movie. Think of him as the George or the Tolkien of like this.
Yeah, I didn't like those movies either. So it doesn't.
Blasphemy.
Give me another.
I saw just a quick little headline. Like there's some guy who spent like 3,000 hours, 300,000 hours, something like a certain amount of hours just watching Lord of the Rings all year on Netflix or something. Like he spent an absurd amount of time watching just Lord of the Rings.
I'm doing a rewatch of The Hobbit right now.
I mean, you want to watch a good trilogy? Watch the Clerks trilogy. That's really good.
You want to watch a good? If I want to watch a good trilogy, I'll either watch. Nah, I'd watch either the original, the original Star Wars movies. If I want to watch a good
trilogy, the Clerks trilogy is really good.
The Clerks trilogy. Now there's a trilogy.
All three of them.
It took what's the span between those movies? Like between 20 years?
Well, no, it's longer than that. It's like 28 years. I think Clerks came out in '94, and then Clerks 3 came out last year. So
there's a Bill and Ted trilogy too.
A what?
A Bill and Ted.
Yeah, but that third one. Those first two were good. The third one I didn't like.
I haven't seen the third one yet because I read stuff that it wasn't the best.
It's a Riddick trilogy. Riddick's good.
Oh yeah, Riddick. They're making a new Riddick too.
Oh really?
Yeah. They actually
the Chronicles of Riddick.
What's his face actually? He signed some deal where he actually has full creative control over Riddick.
He's going to go to Earth and drive race cars, and he's going to have family.
Okay, you don't mess with my family.
I thought it was funny, but
I wish, like in Riddick, he was just like, "I am Riddick." Like for some reason, I think that would have been great. That'd been a great addition.
NFL. We do have NFL on tomorrow.
Well, Hard Knocks is on tonight.
Yeah, but and there's games tomorrow, so we're starting to get some NFL.
Did anybody watch the Hall of Fame game?
I watched the first half.
I watched maybe a here now. I was like, I'm done with this. I can't.
None of the big games
so hard.
Play.
It's so hard to watch any preseason game.
Right.
I don't. Even if it's the Colts, I can't do it.
I mean, I watched the first half
one.
just to.
I'll watch I'll watch the series that the starters play.
Speaking of Hall of Fame game, we can talk about who got in the Hall of Fame. How does Darrell Revis get in the Hall of Fame?
Because Darrell Revis.
Tell me why.
He had a 4 or 5 year stint where there was no corner better than him ever.
I heard he's the only guy to shut down Megatron. One reception for 13 yards the whole game.
And he's only has 29 interceptions and ranks 250.
It's not about interceptions.
It should be. It should be about statistics, Chris.
Corners aren't just interceptions. They also deflections, pressures. If the quarterback is so afraid to throw it his way that they do not throw the ball at Megatron.
Why is Lester Hayes not in the Hall of Fame?
Who's Lester Hayes?
Oh my holy shit! One of the best defensive backs ever played the game. Look him up.
He's not as good as
two Super Bowl victories.
He's not as good as Revis Island because Revis Island is in the Hall of Fame.
Statistically, he is like double the defensive back that.
Oh no.
There's a whole list of players better than him that aren't in the Hall of Fame. I mean, God, Everson Walls isn't there. Eric Allen's not in there, and there's like a bunch of players who should probably be in the Hall of Fame that are defensive backs that aren't in the Hall.
Sanders.
Yeah, he was a safety, but he should be there. In fact, Gary Fensick, who was a safety for the Bears, he was on the Super Bowl team in the 46 defense. He's not even in the Hall of Fame. He's got more interceptions than Revis does. And I don't buy the fact that, they're tough, so they don't throw their way, because that is your number one guy that Revis is covering. So why aren't you throwing to your number one guy? Because you are throwing to your number one guy. So don't give me this crap that nobody throws to.
They don't throw to their number one guy because they're covered.
No, that's not true. I do not. If that was the case, you wouldn't have people having interceptions I'm saying Everson Walls. I'm saying Eric Allen. Who else? Oh, there was somebody else. Ray Buchanan played for the Colts, right? His stats are outrageous compared to Revis. Revis had a cool nickname. I'm convinced that's why he's in the Hall of Fame. Kind of like why Joe Namath is in the Hall of Fame, because he did shit in his career as a quarterback. He's just popular. He had charisma. He wore fur coats and did pantyhose commercials. Was banging
just like
chicks.
Aikman. Aikman's only in there because of Emmitt Smith.
I don't know. Aikman was pretty phenomenal to watch. He was a really good quarterback.
Yeah, he had a good team around him.
Yeah, he did have a good. But there's so many defensive backs out there that had played on shitty teams, but statistically, they should be in the Hall of Fame. Then they're not in the Hall of Fame. So I just
be that
I
good
just
if they're
think
not in the Hall of Fame.
of all the
Revis must be
defensive
good.
of all the defensive backs that I would put in the Hall of Fame, Revis would not have been my first choice. He's way down the list.
Let me ask you this then. Does Revis deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
No. Based off statistic, no. I don't think just because you have a great year. Bo Jackson's not in the Hall of Fame, and he was one of the most explosive players to ever play the game of the NFL. Ever.
Yeah, but Revis was in the league longer than Bo.
So you said that there were a couple of years where he was really good. So was Bo Jackson. So was Bo Jackson. There will never be another player like Bo Jackson. That's how good he was. He played two different sports. Think about that. He excelled two different sports professionally. He was that good.
He had Hall of Fame talent in two different sports, too.
Exactly. So why isn't he in the Hall of Fame, Chris, if he's had 4 or 5 good years? See what I'm saying? So I need to know what the basis of a Hall of Fame player is, because to me, statistics tell me everything. By you having 29 interceptions and you're 200 and something in rankings of all-time defensive backs, I'm not picking you. I'm going to look at those guys up higher on the list. Everson Walls, Eric Allen, Lester Hayes. I mean, Mike Haynes is in the Hall of Fame. Why isn't Lester Haynes? They played on the same team. They shut the corners down. That's how they won.
Not be that good because Revis is in there.
Mm-hmm. Check him out.
I saw Revis in his prime.
That's all you've seen. Somebody put a list out of all-time greatest wide receivers, right? And they put Megatron first. They had Jerry Rice third. How is that even possible?
I could kind of agree with that. Megatron.
You can't go. You can't go. Well, all I'm saying is, I think some of these Hall of Fame voters go by who they've seen play, not who they haven't seen play. I never saw Dick Butkus play, but I can tell you he was a menace on the field. I never saw Gale Sayers play, but I can tell you he was a phenom on the field. But I never saw him play. Look back. Look, you got to look at the history. Just because these guys were good 10 years ago, who was good 30 years ago? And then you can't say the talent wasn't. Well, the talent wasn't there. Well, the reason there were so many interceptions back then was their shitty quarterbacks. Well, between in Lester Hayes' day, you had Joe Theismann, Ron Jaworski. Those guys went to the Super Bowl. Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Dan Fouts.
Dan Marino deserved a Super Bowl.
Huh?
Marino deserved a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he never won a Super Bowl. Can you believe that? Everybody thought he would go more than once. I thought he would go more than once. God, that Dolphin team was good every year. So you can't use the comparison that, well, the quarterbacks weren't as good back then. In fact, they couldn't smother players now, or then the way they do now. It's a completely different ballgame. Defensive backs never got smothered back then like they do now.
Yeah, because they got their knees taken out 5 yards out.
No, that wasn't them. That was running backs were blowing knees out. And that was more AstroTurf than... Now, Gale Sayers got his knees cut out. That's how he blew his knee out. But a lot of those were... the blown knee issues were artificial turf issues. That wasn't... They got decapitated. They got leveled, those guys. Don't go across the field. You go across the center of the field, you're getting leveled.
You know what I like to watch? I like to watch the highlight. I like to, every time it comes up on like Facebook or Twitter, it's like the highlight reel, but it's from 20 years ago or something. But every play in the highlight reel would be a flagrant foul now or something.
Oh yeah, dude, they went headhunting back in. They used their head. They led with their helmet. if they left him wide open, if you were wide open going across the middle of the field, you caught that ball, there was a chance that you were going to get leveled and not play the rest of the game. I mean, that was just a chance you took. But now we're all sissies and we can't do that kind of violence these days because violence is bad.
I'm looking at like Revis on the Pro Football Hall of Fame website, and I wish it tells you all these stats and stuff, and like is basically a highlight or like his key points during his career. But I wish it would have said like why we selected him.
That's what I want to know. What because that's why I asked. Was it because he had a cool nickname?
It's a popular.
Yeah, but like, what pushed them to like, okay, he's a maybe, he's a maybe. Okay, out of these three, what makes one of them a Hall of Famer over the others?
Because nowadays the Hall of Fame is a popularity contest.
Think about it, and you brought it up, Bob Sanders, right? He played the same time as Revis did.
If they looked at Bob Sanders for how good he was during his time, and he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, now you're understanding my argument.
Are they comparing him to everyone that they've chosen, or are they comparing him to their position, or are they comparing him to each other?
That's what I want to know, because that's what I said. Because if I look at
who they played with and what time, there's so much to I guess to calculate. But
I mean, he played in an era of Manning and Roethlisberger and Brady. I mean, so he played against good players.
He played against probably the top 5 quarterbacks of all time.
His division was with what was he in the Patriots division? No.
Yeah.
Who? Revis?
The Jets.
Yeah, the Jets.
So that was in the Patriots. He was playing. He was playing Brady.
Pittsburgh?
4 times a year.
Well, yeah, but was that? I don't know how far back does those go. I don't know how far back the realignment is.
Well, he's been playing since 2007.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. When was the realignment?
It's at least during that time. It's been because that's when I started watching football.
Because were they in 4 divisions then, or still 3? That's
what
I'm at.
4.
I'm just curious. But that's what I want to know. What makes him? Because I look at statistics. Because I am very much a statistics guy, and statistically, he is as average as everybody else. 29 interceptions. Like I said, he was flashy. I'm not taking away his talent. I am questioning whether he is Hall of Fame material compared to Gary Barbaro, Everson Walls. It's like 100. There's 15 different guys that aren't in the Hall of Fame that probably should be based off of statistics. Now, is it because of the time they played, the teams they played with? I mean, Gary Barbaro played for the Chiefs back when they were shitty in the 80s. Is that why he's not in the Hall of Fame? Because he's got like 50-something interceptions. That's a pretty big number. You know what I mean? And that's in a run-heavy offense. That's not in. They didn't do passing like they do now. So I just question why he gets in so quick and so early. That's all. I would like to know the criteria of why they're getting in. That's all, I suppose. I don't know. I could be wrong. Just asking.
Hey, all I'm doing, what's his face? Cartman. All I'm doing is asking questions.
That's right. I mean,
why is Windy? I forget the exact thing.
Speaking of, let's talk about how football has gotten soft. The whole you can't crush the quarterback anymore. You can't pancake him, right? You can only push him down, and if you push him down after a certain amount of seconds, they call roughing the passer, right? So speaking of that, speaking of dangers in general. So I'm going to relate to racing because I can relate to racing. So I watched this documentary the other night on Jackie Stewart, and he brought safety to racing because back then it was bloody. People were dying left and right in Formula One. It was crazy. So this older driver named Sterling Moss was a Formula One champion. He says, I think this quote is still relevant to this day. He says, I believe that racing needs an element of danger because to me, it's like cooking and not having any salt. The real flavor comes out with the danger. Is that not true of football?
True. I want to see someone get decapitated again.
I mean, I don't want to see anybody
I want to see heads rolling, broken spines.
I want to be like Blitz. What's
like
the game? I want to see. I want to
Daryl
see.
Sting.
Yes.
Like Jack Tatum broke that guy's neck.
NFL Blitz. I want to see. Was it Namath out there that broke his leg? Got his leg broken.
No, Namath never broke. That's
Who's
Theismann.
the Theismann? I want to see Theismann get his leg snapped in half again.
I saw that. I saw that live.
How many times did they replay it?
They replayed it a few. That's back when they were allowed to replay things.
Well, I
And they
forget
would
who
still
it was,
and
but
they would play the
replayed
Whopper
somebody's
Whopper
injury.
commercial back then and not even care, dude.
Whopper, 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 Whopper. I didn't actually know that happened. So it was like
you got to look it up. You've got to look it up. It's hysterical. Got a guy dying on the football field, and they cut the commercial, and it's Whopper, 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 Whopper. Okay, speaking of, we're moving. We're changing. So back a new subject.
1, 2,
So
3.
I'm gonna do. I have a beef with the woke culture and media. Are you ready for this? So there
I'm on the edge of
is-
my seat.
huh?
On the
There
edge
was
of
a
my seat.
all right. So there's a NASCAR driver by the name of Noah Gragson, right?
sure.
And he got suspended. Okay, so he got suspended. First, he got suspended by his racing team. Then he got suspended by NASCAR, right? He drove for Legacy Motorsports, and he got canceled for liking a meme.
Oh,
right?
I saw this. Yeah.
So the meme, his meme like goes back to May, okay, and the meme. So the meme is a crab at the bottom of the ocean with George Floyd's face on it, and it says "under the knee." So it says "under the knee, under the knee." So he liked the meme on Instagram, right? So this big bad journalist, to me, it's a dick move. It really is. This guy's name is Daniel McFadden. He's a reporter for the Arkansas Democrat Gazette and a NASCAR writer at frontstretch.com. So when he posted the article,
Is that even a real website? Let's be
Front
honest.
Stretch, yeah, it is. So his when he tweeted out the story for frontstretch.com, it's titled "Dropping the Hammer: Noah Gragson's Big Mistake." That's the name of his article, right? Then he said, Noah Gragson made a big mistake. Now this is where it pisses me off. I did my due diligence to make sure it was real. My Front Stretch column on Gragson's deserved suspension. So when he says, when I got a chance last night, because somebody sent it to him in this like a Slack room, which I had a Slack room when I which is it's an app, right? That you trade things
Slack
in.
is like, it's basically like GroupMe or something.
Right, exactly. And
But
I did that. I had that when
Companies use it more than
I had that
anything
when I
else.
used Slack when I wrote my articles, my racing articles, right? He says when I got somebody shared that to him, so that's how he saw it. He saw it. Somebody shared the picture, so he researched that from there. He said, when I got the chance last night, I immediately sent an email to Legacy Motorsports PR reps. In that email, I made every attempt possible to couch my message and the questions I included in a way that allowed for the possibility that the screenshot was fabrication. Saturday morning, upon someone else noting that Gregson's current Instagram picture was different from the visible one in the screenshot, I sent a follow-up message asking when his photo had been changed. Again, trying to allow the possibility this was a wild goose chase. Now, the thing that pisses me off is, what's he benefiting off of this? But clicks, right?
Clicks.
Dropping the hammer. This is how it started. Dropping the hammer, Noah Gregson's big mistake. Noah Gragson made an incredible, potentially career-costing mistake. It was a mistake that was made at some point in the last 3 months, but was 4 years in the making. Here's what happened. 3 years ago, then he goes in about George Floyd being murdered, blah, blah, blah. So he describes what it was. Now, my question is, as a journalist, if I saw that, if someone presented that to me, I would immediately find a way to contact that race car driver, meeting Noah Gregson in this case, saying, dude, that could really come across wrong in this woke culture. I would strongly suggest you delete this before it goes viral. That's exactly what I would do as a racing
all
reporter.
this guy is out for is the clout he has now.
So actually, Gregson, not only has he been suspended by NASCAR, he lost his ride with the team, so he can't race the rest of the year. Which they said that was coming anyway, apparently, but that's not the point. This could potentially be a career-ending move.
Yeah.
And he said I did. What are you benefiting by doing this? Am I wrong in thinking that as a journalist, I was a journalist. At one point, I was a journalist. There is no way I would write an article and call somebody out like that. I don't care if I liked them or not. That's like me writing a bad word about Scott Dixon just because I don't like Scott Dixon. I would never do that. I would never
I'm
sabotage
sending him an email right now.
Huh?
I'm calling Scott Dixon right now. I got him on speed dial. You don't even know.
If he liked a meme that was questionable, I would say, dude, you need to get off. You need to get your name off of this. Somebody's going to pick up on this and you're going to be in trouble. That's exactly what I would have done in his case. I wouldn't have written an article about it and got the guy suspended. That guy's on, that's a witch hunt. He's there for clicks and it's clickbait and he's a terrible person. Is Noah Gregson a racist? No. If it's like this meme with so my question is, I found a meme that said, I hope you have a hammer and nails because this isn't going to hang itself, and it's like a portrait of Jeffrey Epstein, right? If a black person likes that, are they racist?
Yes.
Are they? It's like that. It's like the joke that so I said, hey, I had a family member die at Auschwitz. He fell out the guard tower. See, you just laughed at that.
Shut up. No, I didn't.
You did too. Is that racist? Should we laugh at that joke? That's a funny joke.
It's just see, people are too. I hate saying it because it's gonna get me in trouble, but people are too sensitive now, and they can't take jokes.
But that joke wasn't even like, why? What does that pertain to him? What has Noah Gregson? What does that have to pertain to the writer? Absolutely nothing, other than he's looking for clicks. He's looking for attention, and boy, he got a lot of bad attention. But of course,
did you like the meme I sent you? The new meme I have to troll people on Twitter. I had journalism today.
Yes.
I've been purposely searching for like dumb like things on Twitter just to put that on there. I think it's hilarious.
Even the thing somebody said, how can you say that he said he called Revis one of the top 10 defensive backs of all time. I said I can name 10 better defensive backs than Darrelle Revis. And I did. But yeah, I don't know if he's trolling. I don't know what this guy's trying to prove. But to end a guy's career based off of, I mean, he's stupid. Is he stupid? Obviously, the driver's stupid. He probably should. I wouldn't have liked that meme. I would have thought it was funny.
When you're in a public career like that, you need to keep an eye on what you're
right. Exactly. He did make that mistake. But to me, that reporter, I think he could have done due diligence and just contacted the driver and said, dude.
When I worked for the city, I did not. People wanted to add me on Facebook and stuff, and I was like, no, because I don't want me to like something on Twitter or Facebook, and then you turn around and show my boss, and I have to get fired.
Right.
Even though I don't think that would happen with I don't think the bosses would want to fire me. It would come from someone higher, because it's political at that point.
I'm tired of people why would you want to cost somebody their career? And he said It could be a career ending. He like admitted that's
because
what
he gets
this could
off
be.
to that.
Like, why is it your job to be the meme police? You know?
Well, because he wants to be a Facebook or a whatever that Facebook's failed attempt at Twitter is. He wants to be one of their censor people.
So, did I? I told you about this, Chris. But speaking of which, so like, so I found I saw a thing on TikTok of Kamala Harris talking about Bob and Doug going to space, right? So I stitched that together with Bob and Doug McKenzie, the guys from Canada, which is Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas. Take off, you hoser, those guys.
Yeah.
And I stitched it together and I put it on my TikTok, and I did not get one like on it at all. So I'm wondering if I got censored
Probably.
by TikTok because I was making fun of Kamala Harris.
Probably.
So I'm just tired of the censoring, the worrying about what people say. I mean, he's a NASCAR driver. Can't they still be? I miss the
when
more on
NASCAR was
NASCAR
great?
guys.
When NASCAR was great was when they had people with egos. Everyone is a company man now.
Oh, you ain't kidding. There's no
Like,
personality,
Jeff
hardly any
Gordon,
personality.
like the rivalries between some of these drivers, it was legitimately like made it fun.
Well, I
And then
think
as
so.
soon as they started, like, I don't want to say it started, but it was like really personified when they the whole noose thing.
No, that was happening before the news.
I
The
know it was
noose
happening before the noose, but I
dude, that
feel
was
like
I
that was
called
like
that. I
when it
called the news
finally
as a
became
I called the news
noticed.
a fake story from the second I read about it. I said that's not real. No,
Well,
this has
no,
been going on
and
for
like
a long time.
everybody came out saying it was like it's been there for years. Like, shut up.
Yeah, that's I have that guy's he's a racist. Bubba Wallace is.
Bubba Wallace hasn't had anything in the news since then, and he tried to come up with something else racist, and it was
Yeah,
he didn't get
but no, they
news.
haven't. I don't think they've had that since probably by the 2000s. I would say once Dale Earnhardt died, you kind of lost the old school sort of NASCAR where they could. And back then you had sponsors, but you know what? They didn't care. Like that's how they got PR. Everybody knew the Goodrich car from Dale Earnhardt because he wrecked people and he drove aggressive. And if your guy was in, this fake fighting in the pits, that's all bullcrap. It's all now.
It's baseball brawls. It's just hold me back, bro. Hold me
Yeah,
back.
it's exactly what it is. It's not real. It's not legit. But it's all corporate run. No, well then now the sponsors. I mean, the sponsors ultimately dictated number changing in NASCAR, where the number was located, because the number used to be located on the door. Sponsors complained they wanted bigger room for their sponsor name, so the number got moved towards the front of the car, towards the front tire of the car. So that shows you how much sponsor dictates, right?
Sponsors are the money, so
I just miss, shoot, Ken Stabler used to go out and party all night and come back in at 4 o'clock in the morning and go for, throw for 300 yards at a football game.
it's like the Attitude Era during WWE. You miss
Yes.
it, but it's never going to come back.
Yeah, no, that's gone forever.
That's the Attitude Era.
What an epic era. Oh my God, that era was so good. That was Can't Miss TV. Oh, speaking of, so check this shit out, right? So let's watch this TikTok. So speaking of TV and cord cutters and Netflix and how this is how shitty companies are. And Disney is one of them. You ready for this?
Sure.
So, okay, so this was a guy, it was on a Disney show. I forget what show he was on. So, according to Disney, they pay you 88% of scale for the first 3 seasons you're on a show, right? So this could be Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, it could be Hannah Montana, anything, right? So for the first 3, after season 3, you get 100% scale, right? Does that make sense? You got the math
3
here?
seasons you're on the show, or 3 seasons that the show's running?
The first 3 seasons you get 80. You're paid 88%. If you're the lead actor, like let's say, Lily from Hannah Montana. What's her name? Emily Osment. So for the first 3 seasons of Hannah Montana, she was to be paid 88% of scale pay, right?
Yeah.
For the industry scale pay. After that, once season 4 kicks in, she should get 100% of scale, right? Well, after season 3, Disney renames the show. So they don't have to pay 100%.
What show was it?
So you have Sweet Life with, think about this. So you have Sweet Life with Zach and Cody, right? For season 4, it became Sweet Life on Deck.
Oh, because they went on a cruise ship.
Right.
Quote unquote.
Hannah
So they changed the
Montana
name.
in season 4 went to Hannah Montana Forever for season 4. That way, they cannot renegotiate those contracts. So Disney doesn't have to pay 100% scale to their actors. They rename the show.
So I wonder what Mandalorian's going to get named, because it's Mandalorian's on its 3rd season now.
Didn't they already have a season 3?
I thought this was season 3. I can't keep track. I don't remember. I thought this was season 3.
I just thought that was kind of, I mean, and I don't know who this actor was. I don't know what show he was on. But he's like, those lawyers at the Mouse House really know what they're doing. But that blew my mind, and that's why they changed. And if you think about it, that makes sense. That's why they change names of shows like that. So it's like anything. And then I saw another guy. He was talking about Netflix, and he said Netflix ruined Netflix has ruined the television industry because they set the precedence for television. Like, let's cut the cord. They start making their own shows, right? So everybody's making their own streaming service, right? Every channel, right? History Channel, A&E has a streaming service too, don't they?
Yeah. A lot of them are combining, though. Now.
Right. Well, Discovery Channel. Think about it. Discovery Channel has the app, right? So
Not anymore.
How many? Right. No, they don't. But how many hit shows did Discovery Channel have? Tons of them, right? Tons of them. So what was wrong? Everybody, and you know what? Everybody was cool that they were on cable because everybody had cable TV or direct TV, right? Essentially, the TV stations, the people that went from having their shows on TV to putting their shows on apps. Ghost Hunters is on Discovery app, or was. They started putting them on TV again. Josh Gates' show, Restaurant Impossible. They found out the hard way it didn't work. So now these shows are going away. Well, some of them are. But there was nothing wrong with cable. And everybody's like, "Well, cut the cord." You don't not cut the cord. How many people have Xfinity internet? You're not cutting the cord. You're still paying Xfinity for TV.
Yeah, I still pay Xfinity for my internet, and then on top of that, then I have a bunch of apps.
Which all of that stuff. Think about it. All of that stuff was on your cable box at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, Xfinity could have done something where they could have put movies on demand, and they started doing that. Like HBO or whatever. Instead of having HBO make their own app, or Discovery having their own app, or you got to pay extra for A&E Plus or whatever. So essentially, Netflix is the one that ruined it for the whole industry, the whole television industry, because you're still paying a lot of money for cable or for internet from a cable company. Then you've got all these apps. I mean, people are paying for different apps, Chris, not just, they've got HBO.
We do a lot of sharing. Like, you have HBO, I have Paramount.
It's funny how they did that, and then Netflix was the first one to say you can't share your account.
I love how Netflix says you can't share your account. Every time they post something, I put a little pirate flag on their thing because I'm just gonna watch it how I want.
Right, exactly, and I can watch it how I want. Right.
Yep.
So there was really, I mean, honestly, what was wrong with cable television? Everything was on there. You had DVRs. You could record what you wanted.
It wasn't on demand. I couldn't, I want to watch Star Trek: The Original Series, episode
But that's the thing.
5.
You could have done that though. You
But
could
not
have
everything
put
was
that.
on demand.
No, but it is through other apps, free apps that I can watch stuff that's I watched Game of Thrones, the last 3 seasons of Game of Thrones. I didn't have HBO, so you know what I mean. There was nothing wrong with cable. There was nothing wrong with the cable. There was nothing wrong with cable to begin with, other than it wasn't. Do we really need everything at our fingertips? Is it that? Is life so bad that you can't have it at your fingertips? I mean, to me, there was something about a 2-part series. I could be watching Miami Vice or Hunter or Happy Days, and part 1 was over, and you had to wait a whole week for part 2. I mean, Game of Thrones did it, right?
Yeah.
But it was on HBO at that time. It wasn't on. There was no HBO app. That was just an app with you didn't get to show any different. They're still doing that where you have to wait a week for a television show to come on, the next episode. There was nothing wrong with cable television. All these people got greedy. Then they got so greedy they quit paying actors. Now there's no new content coming out.
Well, I hope all these people go bankrupt. I hope all these companies start seeing it in their bottom line, but they're not, because the only way they're going to see it in their bottom line is people canceling their streaming platform. But who's going to cancel their streaming their Netflix or whatever?
Well, Disney's losing streamers left and right.
Well, Disney's losing money because they bank too much on Marvel shows, and Marvel shows, no one's watching Marvel shows.
Right. Well, I mean that's true too. But I still have cable, and I like cable because I can flip around and I can find what I want. I'm watching The Office right now, so I'll flip around. Hey, Big Bang Theory's on. I think I'll watch it.
That is one thing I miss about sorry, yawning. That is one thing I miss about cable is, I'll watch, say Riddick. Mikey was talking about Riddick. Say Riddick was on TV, the first Riddick, Pitch Black.
Yeah.
I might watch it. I'll sit down and watch that movie. But
Saturday?
I'm not going to go load up HBO right now and watch Riddick.
Well, and that was the beauty. So, like, Saturday, though, there was the IndyCars raced in Nashville this past weekend, right? So Saturday, there was a practice session and then qualifying. So I watched Back to the Future was on AMC network. All 3 of them. They had them all 3 back to back to back. So I would turn them on. Hey, look, I can watch this for an hour until IndyCar qualifying comes on. You know what I mean? It's nice. It's nice to be able to flip around. Oh, hey, this on. Oh, there's a game on. I think I'll watch this game. I don't have to know what app it's on.
That is one thing I miss because I don't pay for ESPN, or I don't have any access to like ESPN or like Fox Sports. So I really don't get much like sports.
Dude, Arch Manning is freshman at Texas this year.
I know.
I cannot wait. That's coming up soon. I'm gonna be watching that.
I've told everybody my fever dream. Colts are gonna draft Harrison's son next year, and then we're gonna draft Arch Manning. That is my fever dream. But we're gonna lose our edge because they don't want to pay him.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. Tom, he would be too old by then. Taylor would be too old by the time we got Arch.
That is true. Yeah, that's another 4 years till we get Arch Manning.
He's got another 2-3 years left, I think. No offense to him. Like I'm on both sides. I'm on his side for getting them. He deserves to get the money. And then I am on the team side of the statistics of after so many hits, running backs fall off. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like running backs fall off after a certain time.
Yeah, they do. I agree.
They fall off quicker than a lot of other. Like they're probably the best players coming into the league. Like if you were to take every position, running back is probably the safest to draft. But how many? You only got what? 4, maybe 5 years with them before they're done.
And that's the crazy part because like it's not even like a running back offense anymore. I mean, you think of people like Earl Campbell, Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith, and Frank Gore. I mean, those guys played forever. They lost a little bit in their step here and there, but they were still good running backs. You know what I mean?
It's because they actually practiced. They kept their body fresh.
That's probably true.
I bet there is something to the, rest time, not getting hit all the time, but also there is something to it that your body gets used to it.
Well, think about it. Like, conditioning was not a huge thing back in the day. You know what I mean? There were a
Yeah.
lot of soft guys.
Yeah,
It
they're
just
ripping cigs and drinking beers on the side.
Dude, there's that picture of Lynn Dawson, right? The quarterback for the Chiefs, smoking a cigarette at halftime. I
Yeah,
mean, which
legendary.
which probably 90% of the guys in the NFL smoke pot anyway. We know that. So, um, but that's not the same thing as a regular cigarette. It probably slows them down if they do it on, And I mean, is that it? Is that a factor? They're not even tested for marijuana anymore. Does that affect a player? I don't know. I mean, right? It's a relaxing thing, right? They talk about marijuana messing with your mental state. And they ain't buying crap stuff either. Them guys are paying in bank for good stuff. That's good kush. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Not to change the subject drastically, but before we run out of time, Mikey's not even here. I didn't realize it.
yeah, you had to go mow.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We got we're at like the 1 hour mark. Let's talk a little bit about Kung Fury.
Okay, yeah, we can. I don't want to talk about another movie real quick that I watched, and I'll let you. We can talk about Cure, but I don't
All right,
talk about Kung Fury first. Do you want to talk about my movie first?
Yeah, talk about your movie first.
Okay, because I watched this because you know how much I love old movies. So I checked out Torpedo Run, which with Glenn Ford and Ernest Borgnine came out in 1958, and essentially they have to the submarine commander, who's Glenn Ford, has to blow up a Japanese ship full of prisoners because they're taking other ships out, Japanese ships, out of the harbor at the same time. So he's got to. So it's not a horrible. It's got a lot of people in it. It's Ernest Borgnine's in it. Like I said,
these are a
Glenn
lot of
Ford's
old
in it.
names that not
Dean
many people are
Jones
gonna
is
know.
in it. Dean Jones of every Disney movie in the late '60s was in it. L.Q. Jones, which he just did every TV show known to man, was in it. But it's not a horrible movie. I think they were trying to work on make it intense, like kind of like Uncut Gems. Yeah. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time. That's not the case. And it looked like the special effects were done by Billy in the bathtub. It looked like Billy.
Billy in the bathtub.
It looked like Billy got a hold of the home movie camera and made a war picture in the bathtub. That's what it looked like. It's just it bombed at the box office. Actually, I watched it on HBO Max. It lost $150,000, which is like $2 million in today's movies. But I think they'd probably make it back in streaming. But it lost $195,000 for MGM Studios back in 1958.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money back then. A lot of money went further back then than it does now. So it's not good. It's just not. It's okay. I mean, I didn't feel like I wasted my time. But they talked about how it was supposed to keep you on the edge of your seat, and it did. It's all right. It's not bad. Oh yeah, it's called. This is the poster. Glenn Ford, Ernest Borgnine, the greatest submarine picture of them all. Torpedo Run.
It was probably the first one.
Yeah, it came out in '58, so it's kind of neat. I like watching those old pictures, But that was Torpedo Run. Check it out, HBO Max. It's on. That's where I watched it. I wouldn't recommend it unless you want to, I'll check it out.
It's something to watch.
Right. Somewhere out there in the path of peril is the woman that one of these brave men loves. Because the captain's family were in the Philippines, and the Philippines got attacked. So it was possible that his wife and child were on this boat if they didn't make it, if they didn't escape to the mountains. That was the kicker. So if you blew up the ship, just blow it up. It's called, what is it? Collateral damage. They just become collateral damage is all. But let's move into the new blockbuster that we enjoyed, even though it's only
So
30 minutes long. I could
Kung
have went another
Fury.
hour with the show.
They're making a second one, by the way. It comes out next year.
Hell yeah.
So Kung Fury was a movie that was
Where did you find this?
it was kickstarted back in like 2013. It was like when Kickstarter was actually like
Yeah, but
good.
how did you find this movie?
I gave it like $20. I kickstarted it.
Oh, you kickstarted it? Are
Yeah,
you kidding me?
No, I gave them I didn't give them much because I was a broke college student, but
You didn't
I gave
tell
them
me
like
that
20
you
bucks.
kickstarted this.
Yeah, I kind of forgot. Low key I forgot about it until like I don't know what made me think about it, but
Is your
I
name in the
just
credits?
no, I didn't kickstart enough.
Oh.
But no,
I can't believe you kickstarted this. That makes this more awesome of a story.
it's a movie. It's written and directed by and starred David Sandberg.
Wait
You
a
know what
second. Hold on. I want to go back to the kickstarting thing. How did you even know this Kickstarter eggs even existed?
I think it was so. There's a podcast I used to watch back in the day called the TGS podcast, and I forget what they changed their name to, but it had a rest in peace, the late great Total Biscuit, or crap, I can't think of his first name all of a sudden. Total Biscuit. What's his first name? I'm so sorry. I'm blanking on his first name. John Bain. John Bain, Total Biscuit he is one of the first YouTubers I started watching. He used to be a big video game reviewer, and he wasn't like, you know, he never took money for his reviews. If he'd tell you the good and he'd tell you the bad, and he'd let you decide. He was very right. He was very honest in his reviews. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He had a podcast with two other YouTubers and streamers, and they talked about it, and that's how I found out about it because there was a trailer. They showed it on their podcast. They're one of the first podcasts to go live on like Twitch or YouTube, and that's when I would watch them. I'd watch them while at school or at home working on something.
This guy could be the new Tommy Wiseau.
But it was Kickstarter, and I think it made like I forget how much it made. It made more than it asked for by like tons of magnitude.
Did it?
Yeah. Hold on, let me look it up.
The budget was $600,000.
I'm looking it up how much it made off of Kickstarter. Oh yeah, they only asked for 200,000, but they got $630,000. But that was also back in the day when Kickstarter wasn't that big. This was like at the beginning of Kickstarter, so that was a lot of that was a lot.
You're one of 17,713 backers, Chris.
Yeah, I think I only did like the $5 back.
The names on the papers on the wall of the police station at the 804 mark are Kickstarter backers. So that could be you.
Maybe I might be back there.
Dude, have you read the trivia to this? As Sandberg could only afford one police uniform, he filmed the police precinct scene by shooting each extra separately and compositing them in a scene.
You know what? That is like thinking outside the box.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah. So basically, the movie is about a kung fu cop with arcade robots, dinosaurs, Nazis, Vikings, Norse gods in an 80s style like techno movie. It's got the Hoff. The Hoff sings the main theme.
He's got a face. During an unfortunate series of events, a friend of Kung Fury is assassinated by the most dangerous kung fu master criminal of all time. Who is that, Chris?
The Kung Fuhrer.
Kung Fuhrer Adolf Hitler. That whole scene where they're in the room where he's just picking off people with a gun
through the phone. Hello, is this the police?
God, that was awful. The bullets were coming through the phone at the desk. No, when the Kung Fuhrer had that gun in his pedestal.
Oh yeah, that was
Watch the
hilarious.
freaking Bugs Bunny cartoon. And I love it. So it's supposed to be Miami. That didn't even look like Miami. Like I don't know where that was, but that wasn't Miami. And
That
then
was
the
across the
police in Miami,
railroad.
the police in Miami don't wear those police uniforms. That looked like the police uniform of every cop in every music video in the 1980s. Is what that looked like. If there was a dancing cop in a music video in the 1980s, that's the uniform they were wearing. And what was the Triceratops partner?
I don't know, just a thing.
It was all
Triceratops.
over the place. Then you had a time traveling by Hackerman or Hacker Man.
Hacker Man. I use that meme all the time of him standing there with Hacker Man. Anytime I do something, I'm like Hacker Man. That's been a meme of mine since 2015, and not a lot of people get it.
Wears a leather jacket in Miami.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna hack you back in time.
Yeah, he hacked me back in time, but he went too far back, and then we're like Vikings riding dinosaurs.
Laser raptors, those went extinct thousands of years ago. Oh, that explains it. We're in Norse times. It's the campiest.
And where did they get the gun? The Viking chick. Where did she get the gun from?
Well, obviously from Thor's awesome pecs.
Oh man, that movie was all over the place. I'm convinced, Chris. I'm convinced with the stuff that's out there. I'm convinced we can make a movie.
And you know what? It doesn't have to be that long. That movie was 30 minutes long.
No. Well, I do. I have a script somewhere. I think it's on my terabyte drive. I wrote a story idea out for a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Did an AI write it?
No, I wrote it.
Okay.
I did about 6 years ago. We were gonna make it, but Derek got hired at Chrysler, so it never happened. And then I got divorced and lost my co-star. So,
well, we can find you a new co-star.
Like there was only like 5 people in it, and like because like my car, I came home. I lived in Indianapolis, but I came to Kokomo at Christmas time because my dad passed away, so I was going to clean his house out. Basically, right? That's the premise of the story. And while I stop at the Tacoma Palace to eat, but then my car breaks down. And because it's Christmas time and I have a foreign car, the part can't come in for like 2 or 3 weeks because of the holiday. And it has to come from Japan or whatever because they don't make the part here in America. So the mechanic, the guy who tows my truck my car is the mechanic. Then he is also at the Christmas tree farm selling Christmas trees. Then he is the plumber because the house has plumbing issues. Then he's the pizza delivery guy who delivers it's the same guy for every scene. I thought that was kind of funny actually. And so, then I had me and my love interest was somebody that I went to school with. She saves me at the Combe Palace with my broke down car, and we hang out at Christmas time. And then my car magically, the part comes in right on Christmas Eve, and we were supposed to spend time on Christmas Eve, but I have to get back to Indianapolis, so I leave, and she's all sad because I didn't spend Christmas with her. But guess what, Chris? There's a knock on the door.
Oh no.
Who is the knock on the door? Who is it?
Derek.
No, it's me because I didn't go to Indianapolis because I fell in love with her over the Christmas holiday with my broke down car.
It sounds like you just copy paste on every Hallmark movie.
Every Hallmark movie is copy and paste. I just made my own movie.
So before we head out, I want to tell you who are the actors in Kung Fury 2. This is how well this movie did that they could do this. So they have Arnold Schwarzenegger as the president. Then they got Michael Fassbender as Colt Magnum.
This is the second one?
Yeah.
Well, they got a bigger budget.
And then reprising his role, David Hasselhoff is playing the Hoff 9000.
Dude, I'm telling you, even if we could make enough money, we could probably get the Hoff.
Yeah, he'll do anything. If you give him a singing role, I bet he gives you a discount.
We could do that. He could be the lounge singer at the coffee shop where we get $8 coffee while we're walking in the shopping plaza and it's snowing outside. Or it's just cold outside. Of my Hallmark movie. I wish we had enough friends, Chris, where we could do this. I really do.
I do too. Well, we could just have like one person. We could have Mikey play like 15 different people.
Yeah, but I need a love interest. It's my movie. I can do what I want.
Tim. You fall in love
He
over
can be
the
my
Cowboys.
bitch, right?
At first, you fight because you're not a Cowboys fan, but then
Dude, it's like Spaceballs. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. But yeah, I find you strangely attractive.
all right, we gotta stop it now. Thank you for listening.
With dark helmets, playing with his dolls, you know.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Hoosier Nerds Podcast. You can catch us at Hoosier Nerds on Facebook, Pod Nerds on Twitter, YouTube. You can watch and listen to us, or you can catch us at your favorite podcasting sites: iTunes, TuneIn, Spotify, and Amazon.
Right, and look for our Hoosier Nerd sponsored Hallmark Christmas movie coming soon to us.
What's the name? Is it going to be?
It's putting the Chris back in Christmas because he hates
God.
Christmas.
Let's
Shut
stop
up.
it there.
No.